Whew, 2021 has not disappointed when it's come to sneaker releases, and May of 2021 is no different. In fact, May of this month has some of the craziest sneaker releases of the entire year, which I know is kind of getting old to say because every month has kind of gotten just progressively crazier, but May is looking pretty good. What's up, everybody? I'm Seth Fowler, and this is Sit or Sell. Thanks so much for tuning in today. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell down below if you haven't yet, and also make sure to give me a follow on Instagram and on Twitter at @RealSethFowler. But today is pretty exciting because today I'm actually announcing a giveaway for a brand new pair of Adidas Yeezy Boost 350 V2 Ash Pearls. Now, because I'm a size 9, a lot of the sneakers that I sell and that I give away in my collection are usually size 9s, but a lot of people aren't size 9. So what I ended up doing was actually buying a second pair of Ash Pearls in a size 10 so I could give them away to you guys. And if you're not a size 10, that's totally fine. If you win, you can give it away, sell it, whatever you want to do with it. It's your pair of shoes. But for this giveaway, I've decided to keep things really simple and make entering super easy. So all you have to do in order to enter this giveaway is subscribe to this channel by clicking that subscribe button down below. Let me throw these laces right in there. And then subscribe to my second channel, which I've linked in the top of the description. That channel is my tech channel, and we're about 24,000 subscribers away for 100,000 subscribers, which is absolutely insane. So by subscribing to that channel, you're helping out the channel a lot. And then the final thing that you need to do is comment your Instagram username on the latest video on the tech channel, just so I have a way of contacting you guys if you win. This giveaway will run for 2 weeks from the day that this video went live, and I'll let you guys know who won the following day. So once again, the steps to enter are subscribing to this channel, subscribing to my tech channel, which is linked in the top of the description, and then commenting your IG username on the latest video on that channel, and that's all there is to it. But let me put down this brand new pair of Yeezys, and let's jump right into this week's Sit or Sell. So in today's Sit or Sell video, we are taking a look at the sneaker releases in the first half of May 2021. And if you're not familiar with any of my Sit or Sell videos, basically what I do is I take a look at each one of these releases, let you guys know what I think about each one of them, and then let you know whether I think each one is gonna sit on shelves or sell out. But with all that said, let's just jump right into the video, starting things off on May 1st. So the first shoe dropping is the Air Jordan 13 Red Flint. So if you read the sneakers app blurb on this sneaker, you learn about all the other Air Jordan 13 Flints and how this shoe is sort of the continuation or the next generation of that 23 years later, and all that's fine, but at the end of the day, it's a red sneaker. It doesn't look anything like an Air Jordan 13 Flint. I get that the color blocking on the shoe, except for the red, is almost identical, but the red is such a different kind of color and such a different look overall. I don't know if Flint really ties into the equation. Maybe I'm just thinking too much into it, but overall, it's not a bad sneaker. It's just a red Air Jordan 13 with some white and gray hits. The Air Jordan 13 in general is a pretty awesome sneaker. It's incredibly comfortable on foot. It's got a very unique look, and if you love retro Jordans, this is one of the last retro Jordans that really has that same sort of like appeal that some of the earlier Jordans had. Now, unfortunately, just like with the used car market, the Pokemon market, and housing market, Air Jordans are very hard to come by. So even if you're right there on the day of release and you have your sneakers app open and you've entered all the raffles, the chance of you actually getting a retro Jordan in pretty much any colorway is kind of slim. So because of that, I think the Air Jordan 13 Red Flint will definitely sell out. Moving on to May 4th, we've got the Atmos Nike LeBron 18 Low in the Viotech colorway. So Atmos has been collaborating with Nike since 2003, and they've actually released some of the most iconic sneaker collaborations of all time. So of course it makes sense that they'd continue this collaboration and release a shoe that's tied to one of the greatest athletes in basketball at the moment. This low-top LeBron 18 comes in light browns, darker browns, more of like a mocha color, and tans, and features a purple Nike swoosh. Actually, looking at this shoe, it kind of reminds me of a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I guess it's because of the brown and the purple, but I don't know. Man, that kind of ruined it for me. Besides the PB&J thing, I think it's a good looking pair of sneakers, and whether you're planning to play ball in this sneaker or not, I think this is a shoe that you could easily get away with both on and off the court. I'm not exactly sure what kind of hype this shoe has, just because I haven't heard much about it online, but because it is a collaboration with someone like Atmos, I wouldn't be surprised if the Nike LeBron 18 Atmos Viotech end up selling out. Next up, also dropping on May 4th, we've got the Air Jordan 1 Rust Shadow. So this is a shoe of many names, because this shoe has been called the Air Jordan 1 Patina since it last released like a month and a half ago. I don't know why Nike does this, but usually in the sneakers app, they use a different name for the sneaker than everyone else uses, and I guess it's because they're going for a more of a colorway thing and trying to stay neutral and not release names that would, I don't know, be too recognizable. I'm not sure exactly why they do that. Whoever's in charge of the naming of sneakers at Jordan Brand and at Nike, you gotta get your act together. It's getting rough. So like I just mentioned, the Air Jordan 1 patinas did release a couple months back. I'm not sure exactly why they're re-releasing on the Sneakers app, or maybe why this release got pushed back on the Sneakers app, but either way, I'm excited to have another chance at grabbing this shoe. Now, something that's kind of surprised me about this sneaker is how little this shoe is reselling for at the moment. Usually with Air Jordan 1s, especially high Air Jordan 1s, the resale price ends up being like $300 to $400 as soon as they drop, but for some reason this shoe's hovering around $250. And it's even weirder for me because this shoe looks a lot like the Shadow 1s, which is one of my favorite shoes. So I'll tell you right now, just like last time, I will definitely be going for this sneaker. Now obviously the look of this shoe is a little bit different than some other Air Jordan 1s. It's got that sort of rust shadow or patina look, which maybe some people don't like. It's kind of like a washed out brown color on a lot of the overlays, but overall, I think it's a great looking sneaker, and it's still a high Air Jordan 1. So no matter whether you like the sneaker or not, I still think this shoe will definitely sell out. Following that up, on May 5th, we've got the Jordan Zion 1 ZNA. So this shoe is actually pretty interesting, and I say that for a very surface level reason, and that's because it glows in the dark. Now, I'm gonna be real with you guys, when I first saw this shoe and this colorway, I wasn't a huge fan because honestly, But then when I saw this picture on Sneaker News where it shows the shoe half lit up and half just regular, I was hooked. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, that's definitely the hype beast in me, but when I started getting into sneakers was when Nike basketball was at its peak, and that was when all these sort of like gimmicky things were just huge in basketball sneakers. And so for me, this shoe is really, really fire. The Jordan Zion 1 is Zion Williamson's first sneaker with Jordan brand, and this particular colorway comes in grays, blues, and some oranges. Like I said, it's not the most exciting colorway in the world, but when you flip off the lights, you really start to see that glow on the outsole and on the splatter print on the midsole. So if this shoe does end up being the first Zion 1 to release, I definitely think this shoe will sell out. If it's not, I do still think there's a chance because a lot of this shoe glows in the dark and people are still suckers for that. Moving on to May 6th, we've got the Nike Overbreak Khaki. So this shoe is sort of a mix of classic Nike styling with brand new, crazy React cushioning that looks like it's from the future. The upper of the shoe is made up to look like an old school 80s Nike running sneaker, and then the outsole, or I guess midsole and outsole, is just this huge piece of React that comes in this crazy organic look. And while honestly, I kind of think the sneaker is ugly, it's ugly in a good way. This particular khaki colorway doesn't really seem to come in khaki, and it comes in more of like a light orange colorway, which is still fine. And of course it also features a light green or teal colored Nike swoosh on the midfoot. While this colorway is not the most exciting colorway in the world, it's still a silhouette that I know people are interested in, so for that reason I think this shoe will definitely sell out. Also dropping on the 6th, we've got the women's Air Jordan 11 Low Bright Citrus. So this shoe comes in a primarily white makeup with citrus or bright orange accents on the outsole and on different parts of the upper. So the Bright Citrus colorway first released back in 2001, but it's most recently released, I believe, back in 2016, maybe 2015. I think it was 2016. It's definitely a clean summer sneaker for the ladies, and the good news is it does go up slightly larger than standard women's sizing, so some men, like myself with smaller feet, can actually squeeze their way into one of these pairs. And even though right now the Air Jordan 11 isn't as popular as what it once was, this is still definitely a hype colorway and a shoe that I think a lot of people will be going for. So because of that, I think this shoe will sell out. Then, continuing on to May 7th, we've got 5 different colorways of the Lego Adidas ZX 8000. So for whatever reason, Lego and Adidas have been dropping a bunch of collaborations over the last couple months. We've had Ultra Boosts, we've had ZX 8000s, and now we have 6 different colorways of the same sneaker. These new ZX 8000s all feature the same Lego hits on both the toe and the midfoot of the sneaker. The only difference between all 6 of these shoes are the colors. I don't remember exactly what the colorways are, but I have them written down. They are blue, red, black, yellow, green, and gray. And all of them are crazy bright, and of course that makes sense because they're all based on Lego bricks. Now while these Lego ZX 8000s are collaborations, they're not as exciting as some of the previous Lego Adidas collabs. And because of that, even though there's 5 different colorways, 6 different colorways, I just don't see the interest being as crazy as some of the other shoes. So because of that, I think most, if not all of these colorways end up sitting on shelves. Following that up, also on May 7th, we've got the Air Jordan 11 Legend Blue. So this shoe was actually pushed back about 2 weeks from its original release back in April. As you probably could have guessed, this low top is based on the high Air Jordan 11 Legend Blues, which last released back in 2014. The colorway on this shoe is pretty simple. You've got an all-white upper accented by bright white patent leather running around the bottom half of the upper, as well as a white midsole and a semi-translucent blue outsole. And while the Legend Blue colorway is not my favorite Air Jordan 11 colorway, I still think this is a great looking sneaker and it's perfect for summer. And at the end of the day, it's a retro Jordan releasing in 2021, and because of that, I definitely see the Air Jordan 11 Low Legend Blues selling out. Man, I am hyped up on coffee. This is my second cold brew today. I didn't mean to have two, but it happened anyway. Next up, on May 8th, we've got the Air Jordan 7 Flint. The Jordan 7 Flints first released back in 2006, and since then has become one of the more popular Air Jordan 7 colorways. The shoe features a flint gray suede upper accented by white overlays that cover a majority of the upper. In addition to that, you've also got some purple Jumpman hits as well as a purple outsole, and it all kind of ties the look together to make it one of the simpler but also one of the cleaner Air Jordan 7s. Now personally, I've never been a huge fan of this colorway. In fact, I've actually never really been a huge fan of the 7s. They're not a bad shoe at all, but they're definitely not one of my favorite Jordans when it comes to Jordan 1 through Jordan 14. But hey, it's not a bad look, and there's a lot of people out there who are gonna love this shoe. And of course, like I've been saying throughout this entire video, it's a retro Jordan. And so for that reason, I think that the Air Jordan 7 Flints will most likely sell out. After that, also on the 8th, we've got the first Yeezy release of the month, and that's the Adidas Yeezy 500 Inflame. So in my opinion, not only is the Inflame one of the wildest Yeezy 500 colorways ever, because it's really the only multicolor Yeezy 500, it's also just one of the wildest Yeezy colorways ever. The shoe features bright orange outsole tooling as well as hits of tans, blues, browns, and all sorts of craziness on the upper. And while personally I'm not in love with this colorway, I do think I have to check it out because it's something completely different from Yeezy. I mean, I guess it's not a bad looking colorway, it's just not a colorway that I'd wear that often. What I am interested to see though is what the reception is going to be like on this shoe. Like how people are going to feel about this shoe when compared to some of the other Yeezy 500s. Which is funny because, myself included, people have been complaining about Yeezy 500s being the same color for years. In fact, well, really the only Yeezy 500 colorways that we've gotten have been earth tones. And while, okay, yes, I guess the shoe is still technically earth tones, except for like maybe some of the oranges, which is still kind of earthy because it's kind of a clay color. It's definitely different. But at the end of the day, regardless of what people think, it's still a Yeezy 500, which is one of the most popular Yeezy silhouettes right now. So for that reason, I definitely think the 500 Inflames will sell out. Then on May 10th, we've got the Stingwater Nike SB Dunk Low Magic Mushroom. So I've got to say that this is one of the more wild Nike SB Dunk Low collaborations that we've seen over the last couple years. I mean, Stingwater really just took the Nike swoosh and went like this on the side of the sneaker. So the Stingwater Nike SB Dunk Low Magic Mushroom comes in primarily red leather on the upper, accented by some sort of like, I guess, mushroom-inspired details on the overlays. It actually reminds me a lot of the Supreme Nike SB Dunk Lows, the red ones that I have from 2012. While it's not the same exact look, it has that same sort of vibe. Weirdly enough, my favorite detail on the shoe is the way that Stingwater put their logo on the sneaker. You've got Stingwa sort of written above the Nike swoosh, and then the other letters in water are kind of just falling off the sides of the Nike swoosh as if they were water. It's kind of a cool effect. In addition to that, the shoe also comes with a semi-translucent midsole and outsole, which you can actually see all the way through. And if that wasn't enough, there's also some text on the bottom of the outsole as well. This is definitely one of the most unique collabs to drop in a while, and it's definitely a shoe that I want to go for, but knowing my luck with the sneakers app, I haven't hit in like a year and a half. It's getting nuts. There's just really no way in hell I'm grabbing this shoe, even though I want to. And so obviously, if that's the way that I'm feeling personally, I definitely think that the Stingwater Nike SB Dunk Low Magic Mushrooms will sell out. Then moving on to May 11th, we've got the Air Jordan 35 Smoke Grays. So this is a shoe that's now officially in the running for being one of the most mentioned sneakers in the Sit or Sell series ever. I'm pretty sure the shoe has been in at least 2 and now 3 different Sit or Sell videos. I wouldn't be surprised if it's 4. For whatever reason, either people are getting the intel wrong or Nike and Jordan Brand are moving it back. I think it's a little bit of both. But now the shoe has shown up on the sneakers app, so I'm thinking that this hopefully is the final official release date. This Air Jordan 35 comes in a very plush looking smoke gray suede, which I love. I also love the sort of stitched in detail on the heel of the shoe. I really think that's a nice touch. Maybe it's because I've been looking at this shoe for like 4 months at this point, but I really feel like the smoke gray Air Jordan 35s are one of the best Air Jordan 35s to drop so far. It's just one of the more premium looking performance basketball sneakers that we've seen in a really long time, and for that reason, it's a shoe that, while at first I wasn't too hyped on it, but now that, you know, I've seen it a million times, I'm kind of into it. And I might pick it up. But honestly, I'm not sure how everyone else feels about this particular colorway, and so for that reason, because it's just a new performance Jordan model, I think this shoe will probably sit on shelves. Moving on to May 12th, we've got the Adidas ZX1000 The Simpsons Flaming Moe's Cocktail. So in the same way that Adidas is dropping just a huge amount of LEGO collaborations, they're also dropping a pretty large amount of The Simpsons collaborations, which as a fan of The Simpsons, I'm not actually mad at all. I guess I'm also like a big fan of LEGO too, so I'm not mad at that either, but there's just more LEGO collaborations than there are Simpsons collaborations. This ZX1000 comes in tonal purples with hits of oranges, yellows, and whites, of course because it's a flaming cocktail. But actually, my favorite part of this Simpsons Adidas collaboration isn't the shoe itself, it's the box that it comes in. And the coolest part about this box is that it's designed to look like the Simpsons TV. The best collaborations are the ones that are just so well thought out. Like they feature custom boxes, custom paper, custom shoes, and this is one of those sneakers. While it's not a shoe that I'm probably going to pick up, I can appreciate it for how good it looks and how well thought out it is. Even though the Adidas ZX1000 is not that popular of a silhouette, because of the collaboration that's dropping on this shoe and how good that collaboration looks, I definitely see this sneaker selling out. In addition to that, also dropping on May 12th, we've got the Air Jordan 1 KO Chicago. So if you've never heard of the Air Jordan 1 KO, you're probably new to sneakers, but if you don't know anything about it, it's essentially just a canvas with some leather variant of the Air Jordan 1. Now what's funny is that a couple years ago, this shoe was not hype at all. In fact, people tried to avoid the KOs. But now, because every Air Jordan 1 is hot and this shoe is coming in a Chicago colorway, people are hyped on this sneaker. Now I gotta be honest, I've never been a fan of Air Jordan 1 KOs. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them, but it's just not something that I'm into personally, maybe because I'm an Air Jordan 1 snob, but regardless, there's gonna be a lot of people out there who are hyped on this shoe just because it's a chance for them to get a Chicago Air Jordan 1 without paying thousands and thousands of dollars. All that being said, it isn't a bad sneaker. It's definitely not a bad looking sneaker, the materials are fine, and at the end of the day, for Jordan KO fans and people who would like a Chicago Jordan 1, this shoe is a great shoe to pick up. And of course, because it's a Jordan 1 in like the most popular Jordan 1 colorway of all time, the Air Jordan 1 KO Chicago will definitely sell out. Moving on to May 13th, we've got the Nike Dunk Low in the Michigan colorway. So this is another shoe that's been pushed back multiple times and is finally releasing, or hopefully finally releasing on May 13th. As the name would suggest, the shoe comes in the Michigan University colors. You've got bright yellow on the upper and darker blue on the overlays. At the end of the day, it's a pretty simple and pretty clean Nike Dunk Low. I think if you like blues and you like yellows, or maybe you're a Michigan fan, this is definitely a shoe to pick up. But most likely, it's going to be a pretty limited sneaker. It's not going to be easy to get, and because everyone's just hot on dunks right now, it's definitely going to sell out. Following that up and also releasing on May 13th, we've got the Nike Dunk Low Team Green. Again, this is another Nike Dunk Low that's been pushed back. Again, it's another simple and clean look. This time around, it comes with the white leather upper accented by team green hits on the overlays. And personally, out of the two colorways dropping on the 13th, this is the one that I definitely prefer. And this is actually also the one that Virgil based his original off-white Nike Dunk off of. Well, I guess actually it was off the high top version, but it is what it is. Regardless, it's a good looking shoe. I think this is the one that I will definitely be going for. And honestly, it's one that I'd even consider paying resale for. And most likely I will have to pay resale for it because this shoe will definitely sell out. Then moving on to the last day that we're going to cover in today's video, May 15th, we've got the New Balance 550 in multicolor. So the 550 is one of New Balance's original basketball silhouettes that they've started reviving over the last year and a half. In fact, most recently we just saw them drop a collab on this shoe which instantly sold out, and I think people, including myself who missed out on those shoes, are kind of fiending for some 550s. This particular 550 comes in a white leather upper accented by blue on the outsole and around the ankle of the shoe. Of course, you've also got hits of yellow and hits of orange and black as well. It's definitely a solid looking sneaker and definitely a shoe that I'm going to try and pick up because I have yet to get a 550 for myself. And I think that because there's probably a lot of people out there like me who wanted a pair of 550s but missed out on the collaborations, that this multicolor colorway will end up selling out. And then finally, the last shoe dropping in today's video is the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0s. So this shoe is kind of like a reverse Shadow Jordan 1 because it's still got gray panels and black panels, but the color blocking is kind of switched. The upper of the shoe comes in a black leather, which is accented by a light gray suede on the overlays. And you know what? Even though I'm a sucker for OG Jordan 1 colorways, this one is pretty fire and I really like the addition of the suede. You know, it's one of those shoes that I wasn't in love with when I first started to see images of it, but the more that I look at it, and I know this is just the hype getting to me, but I'm really starting to like it and I may have to pay resale for it. We'll just have to wait and see. But of course, knowing how popular Air Jordan 1s are right now, I know that these Shadow 2.0s, although they won't be as popular as something like the UNCs or Hyper Royals, they will still be incredibly difficult to get. And so for that reason, the Air Jordan 1 Shadow 2.0s will definitely sell out. But with that, we pretty much wrap up the entire sit or sell video for today. Now I would love to know your thoughts on all of these releases and which shoes you're looking forward to most. So make sure to let me know in the comment section down below. Once again, don't forget to enter the Yeezy giveaway. All you have to do to enter is subscribe to this channel, subscribe to my tech channel, which is linked in the description below, and comment your IG username on the latest video on that channel. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.